You're now listening to No Gimmicks.
No Gimmicks podcast, and we bring it to you. Every time we turn live, and you know it's the truth. Every after show, moving down, it's the time to move around. No Gimmicks podcast is going down. Every night, every time in the ring, this is the time for No Gimmicks. No, we doing our thing. What's your state of mind? State of mind. Moving down a statement when we take the line. This is exactly wrestling the state design. When you see Stone Cold like me, with the stunner in the world, exactly, man, what we bring. Every night we move like Brock Lesnar, the F5, No Gimmicks. We take you to your limit, what's the feeling? When we live in the air, you know we on, it's the time. Guarantee we move, you know how we respond. The state design, the state design when we feel it. Moving down, what's the healing? No Gimmicks is the feeling.
Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the No Gimmicks podcast here on the DFPN. Happy New Year to everyone. Hope everybody had a great, safe, fun New Year. We are now in 2026. It is a big year for pro wrestling. None bigger than the state of Texas and no bigger region than North Texas. Which leads me, we had this agenda in mind last year to expand No Gimmicks, the platform, to North Texas, open up some of this platform for other promotions to come in. Shout out to Metroplex Wrestling. They have been really gracious with us in 2025, and that has opened our eyes up to other promotions, which we want to start hammering some of that out. So joining me now is one of the promotions I've been paying close attention to for the majority of 2025. Anytime they've done the show, it's created major buzz, and they are back in a big way in 2026 with their Uprising card. Joining me from that promotion, the front runner himself, Mr. Don Richmond. Thank you for coming from Dragonslayer Pro Wrestling. Thank you for your time, and welcome to No Gimmicks.
No, thanks, Kelvin. I appreciate you having me, and happy to spread the word about Dragonslayer Wrestling and what we're trying to do.
No, absolutely. And like I said, you were one of the promotions that I paid close attention to, because once again, anytime you guys had an event, it was big buzz around it. The names that you brought to that promotion was phenomenal. You guys had some big names fresh out of some big companies at sometimes come to Dragonslayer Pro Wrestling, and it just created one big buzz around that scene. So the first question I wanted to ask you was like the formation of Dragonslayer Pro Wrestling as a whole. How did that come about? What was the idea behind Dragonslayer Pro Wrestling and bringing that to the masses?
Yeah. Well, I think, like so many of us, I grew up with wrestling. There were times when I kind of faded, right? And then I got back into it, and it kind of comes and goes as you're growing up. But I really, really got deep into it as we hit COVID, actually. And I started going to a couple of the bigger shows when AEW would come to Garland and so forth. And I thought, and I always have had an entrepreneurial kind of urge, right? And I thought, this would be really cool. I got to know some of the local wrestlers, got to see them work, got to, help out backstage at some things. And I realized, honestly, what great people 99% of the wrestlers are. They're really awesome people. Yeah. And they're really working hard, and they're passionate about what they do. With Dragonslayer, because I thought I wanted to take that passion that I had and bring kind of a business mindset to wrestling. And so I spent a career in finance. And so a very different look from what you would see normally with wrestling. And so the idea with Dragonslayer was, I just love the whole medieval vibe. And I was thinking about calling it Camelot. Ooh. Because I really wanted, but I was worried about trademarks and everything. But I really like the idea and the theory behind Camelot giving everybody a voice, right? And being something for everyone, and everyone is looked at with a fair opportunity. And so, that's where it all came together. I love the vibe. And the Dragonslayer name just fit. And so you'll see that on our cards is we do mix it up. And one of the big ones, and this is a big topic lately, but women are always about half our card. I just thought there's a lot of great women's wrestling out there, and especially locally. And I thought it was a disappointment to see a 10 or a 12 card, a 10 or 12 match card, and there's one women's match. Right. So I'm like, you know what? That's our theme too. They're going to get the equal opportunity. We're going to give them a chance to shine. So that's how it all came about. And then we just started rolling from there.
I like that you brought that up because I do want to hit on that. That was one of the questions I actually had for you. Outside of the storytelling was the fact that you do feature a lot of women on your card. Like even this card, there's names that I haven't seen in any other promotion up north. Names like Misty Marks that come up. I know she's from Houston area, and she comes up quite a bit, and she's on this card, right? And you do a very good job of spotlighting that. So I did want to highlight the fact that you do put on a lot of women's matches. That's a great point that you made there. But the storytelling overall, you also hit on it in a bit too. Why the Dragonslayer theme, but the medievalness, the feel to it. Because when I watch it, I get kind of like it reminds me of one of my favorite shows growing up, Gargoyles. I get very much a Gargoyles like theme to it. Is that what you were going for? Like keep it kind of medieval?
I did, because it occurred to me that one of the biggest opportunities with independent wrestling is let's not just appeal to the wrestling fan. Let's appeal to a broader audience. Now that takes some work, right? Because you got to get people over that stigma of, I don't know if I want to go see a wrestling match, right? But I wanted to bring fun to it in a different way so that people are like, wow, this is just a good time. I want to do something different. Everybody's been through that. We're like, I want to do something different tonight. What are we going to do? Well, we give you a live show. And I tell people it's a sporting event crossed with a circus. So it gives you something for everybody. Let's just have a good time, kick back, relax, and enjoy the show. And if you haven't seen live wrestling before, you will be very surprised at how physical it feels when you're there in the arena.
Yeah, most definitely. And then, that brand itself is very unique, which leads me to another question. Yep. Is that your goal to not run as many shows? Because I feel like that formula works for you too. You don't run a lot of shows, but when you run the show, it's always a lot of buzz around it because people want to see it. Was that kind of your game plan?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of reasons for that. One, I would much rather give you a higher quality, fewer show agenda, right, than to spread that out. And every new company, no matter what it is, has its growing pains where you're learning to go through the motions. It's hard to turn around from one show to the next and try to tell that story. But in doing so, the thought was, let's make it an event. Let's make it one of those things where people say, hey, this is a Dragonslayer month. We got to get to Dragonslayer for the wrestling fans, right? They're like, okay, well, this month we're going to get to Dragonslayer. And especially if I'm trying to appeal to that broader audience, I think I could fatigue that broader audience if I was out there too often. But if I can get them quarterly, Now there's a catch-22 to that, right? It's hard to carry a story
that long,
you know, 3 months to 3 months. If you miss a show, or if a wrestler even isn't on a show, it's 6 months before you see him again.
Right.
So we are looking at things maybe into this year, into 2027, that we might do small satellite shows, just to carry stories along for people that are more into it. But it's a big event to play the Ridgely, and you know, something like that. So that's, to me, that's a quarterly venue too.
Right. That's a good point you bring up too, but your attendance at the Ridgely is always, it's, again, the fact that you have this buzz and the fact that you have the people that you have on the show really does help. And I feel like it is an event when you guys pop up. So it is like, so when you announced Uprising, right, it became a big deal because, all right, Dragonslayer is coming back. They're coming back to the Ridgely. And oh, by the way, we have these people coming along. So talk to me about Uprising and the people that you have coming to this particular show.
So with Uprising, and January is notoriously challenging, I think, to market a show and to push it. Even though we don't tend to have bad weather down here, people are coming out of the holidays. Pre-sale doesn't go as fast, so it's tough, right? You gotta really try to hit people with some ideas. So one of the big things we're doing is we're launching a tournament to find our first champion. And not a coincidence, it's a women's tournament. Right? So so what we will do, we'll feature 3 matches, first round. The fun thing about that is the losers of that first round will drop into a second chance triple threat match that'll be held in April. The winner getting back in to the semis. So we'll have 4 people in the semifinal.
Nice.
So we're really excited about that. When you mentioned Misty Marks was on every one of our shows in 2025.
Yep.
She is a really solid wrestler, a really strong character, and I love her work. And she doesn't work enough in North Texas, in my opinion.
I agree with that sentiment.
So whatever I can do to make sure people say, hey, this is somebody you should be booking. Because, by the way, I don't have any adversarial relationship with the other promotions. We're partners in the independent wrestling scene. So I will, a little tangent, Delynn Cavens recently won the MPX title. Well, Dylan's been on a couple of our shows, 3 of them in 2025. And so I post congratulations to him.
Nice.
I want to recognize that. I don't ignore that those promotions occur, right? That's kind of, and I want to make sure that that I can help. As you mentioned, usually about half of my card is local. Because there's a lot of great wrestling here and they need to get noticed too. By the same fact, I will bring in wrestlers that I think Texas isn't aware enough of, that and mix it up, because I, as a fan, don't want to see the same match over and over and over.
Right.
Which can happen sometimes, right? When you go around, you see the different matches. You're like, yeah, I've seen all of those people. So I like to mix it up a little bit. But like I said, we'll divert back. That tournament, besides Misty, Evelyn Carter, an incredible wrestler. Again,
huge
does
buzz.
not get enough work in the area, but she is really, really solid. We also have coming in Mackenzie Morgan, who just recently won tag titles with Nixie XS, who we've had on the show as well in the past. Mackenzie is a great talent. And then when we start talking about our local talent, We'll have Morgan Mercy. We have Fiona McPherson, and we have Ambrosia Bell.
Nice.
So it's a nice mix, and all very talented and very different styles. So that'll be fun. We're going to wait. I don't think we'll announce any of the matchups and let that be fun in the arena. You know who's in it.
I love that idea.
Right?
I love that idea.
You know who's in it, but you don't who's coming out next, right? To be in
right.
And that's coming out of our last show. We had the Dragonslayer Cup. We had a women's melee, which was trying something a little different. It was 8 women. We brought 4 out to start, and as soon as someone would be eliminated, another would come out. Right, and everyone had to be eliminated to get to that final person. The winner being Alejandra Quintanilla of that. So we are going to do that with the men too coming up. We'll do one of those, but that's one of the big highlights for Uprising. We're returning Savage King. Savage King, incredible talent, based in Houston. Does a lot of work with Reality of Wrestling. Eddie Martinez, a local guy, and congratulations, just got engaged. Demo Diamond is making his debut on our show. Also debuting, a delayed debut because he was scheduled last year but couldn't make it, is Barrett Brown. Right, so Barrett will be on. A young phenom, I'll say, by the name of Brock Ali, who's going to be coming up for the show. I think he's somebody to watch.
Yep.
People will be really surprised at his age. And also debuting is Sam Adonis. So Sam is now local. Sam's done a lot of work in Mexico.
Yep.
And really, really well known in luchador circuits. But he spent time in Europe, spent time in Japan. He's, I think, as big as indies get. So I will say to your crowd, unfortunately, one that I don't think is going to make it because of some conflicts is Bishop Khan. I know. Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah, I know Bishop Khan from his days doing some indies around here before. And so we've been trying to make something work. It's still not completely out of the question, but he'll be at Dynamite on the Wednesday before our show.
Yep.
And then we believe he'll be asked to go down to CMLL with his faction. And work that weekend. So I don't think he's going to be able to get to DFW in between. And I honestly don't think AEW would want him to wrestle.
Yeah, it's a lot of work in between.
Right, before going to CMLL. It'd be an extra flight. 2 extra flights. And then he's got a lot of work with CMLL. So we'll, if he can't make it, like I said, I prepare people that he may not. We'll have him back, when we can fit it in.
Awesome, man. Awesome. And you were talking about, I did want to bring this up because your show date is also a unique thing too. Why the Thursdays?
Yeah. Again, Thursday has a few reasons too. One, I wasn't going to run head to head with other wrestling shows. I didn't want to do that. I felt like Thursday has an opportunity. A lot of people pretty much consider, well, I can always get through one more day of work, right? Thursday night's not a bad day.
Right.
Thursday also gives me some advantages in that more talent's available. So a lot of talent would love to, especially if they're in this area, double up and get work on Thursday and Friday, or Thursday, Friday, Saturday. it just gives me less schedule conflicts to bring people in. So for that reason, we also start at 7:30, and we try very hard to stick to a 2-hour time limit so that if people want to get home and get in bed for work the next day, they've got time. Or if people want to start their weekend early, they can still head out on Thursday night. Because we do welcome all ages as well. So we don't want to go too late. And we like to keep it as crisp as we can. Sometimes even the diehard fan, you get running 10 matches. Or, by the way, I am a diehard and I love going to an AEW show, but sometimes at 5 hours, I'm tired.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And you can see by the crowd around you, right? Too, that it's not always. I love the value, but so we try to pack it in. We'll have fewer matches that way, but we want to give you a good solid 2 hours and then send you home happy.
I love that. And that was one of the things that kind of drew me into it too, is that you did pick the Thursday, and that Thursday does kind of work for you as well. So, and that's a very smart point that you brought up, is not going head to head. By all accounts, it sounds like you want the best for the independent scene here in North Texas. So I got to give you kudos for that, because just running that day and then, everything else that you provide with it, it is a ray of sunshine that you're doing.
Thanks.
Honestly.
Thanks. I appreciate it. And I do. I mean, that's really my goal. I would like nothing more than to see people take the next step. And not that I'm the one that trained them or anything, but I just love to have played a part, in their trajectory. I'm really excited that we had Maya World on our October show. And
especially now.
Maya just signed a contract,
Yep.
Thursday, this time, a little bit of a challenge. TNA is going to be in Garland.
There's a lot going on.
I have to plan ahead of time, right? But
yeah.
And so, but I'm not afraid of that. I'm not going to start moving my dates around and stuff, especially if I'm trying to appeal to a wide audience. Maybe not the tenured wrestling fan. If they're in Fort Worth, they're not driving to Garland.
Yeah, true. That's a trek.
Right.
You got to really want to be there. Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, you or me we might do it, but when you're looking at the broader audience and maybe a family audience, that's a long way out, and it's a $50 plus ticket and $25 to park, and then you're not going to get home till midnight.
Right.
So yeah, unfortunate in some ways, but it's exciting, and I love when the talent comes to this area, because it's a chance for me too to talk with some others, and hey, while you're in here or next time you're in the area, and maybe double up with one of the other promotions if they've got somebody in.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, I love that. And January 15th at the Ridgely is going to be a great night. You are one of the promotions that I do look for in 2026 to have a big year, and you're already starting off on the big note. So all the luck to you in this new year.
I appreciate it. I hope it pops. I mean, our crowd continues to grow. But there's plenty of room at the Ridgely. Always more room. We can always get more in there. And front row is 35, general admissions 20, with kids 5 to 12, it's 10.
Awesome.
And we have plenty of room. We encourage the wrestlers to set up merchandise tables, meet the fans, take photos. We have this is that shameless plug. There's a full bar at the Ridgely. We have Kelly's Onion Burger sets up outside. Right?
And food. Oh, this is too good.
Right. So
it's too good.
So there's, we're trying to make sure that it gives everybody a really good experience, and they go, that was fun. I want to come back.
Awesome. Well, I will be in attendance. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
I will be in attendance for that. I won't miss it. Again, January is a busy month, but this is one of the shows that I was actually looking forward to when it was announced, and because of who you had on it. Not just Bishop Khan, but there's a lot of names on this card, especially local, that I do want to see. What really drew me to this initially was the fact that there was a lot of women, and one of those women was Misty Marks. For people who don't know the history of No Gimmicks, Misty Marks was one of the early guests on this show that we interviewed, put a lot of faith in, see her grow, and you are absolutely right about her ability. She is phenomenal. I would love to see more of her around North Texas, especially since she makes her way up here. But going to this show and seeing her on this card in particular, plus the other women on the card, you have some very, very phenomenal women on this card. So please get out, support it. January 15th, Ridgely Theater. Get your tickets. Please let the people know where they can find you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Certainly. Thank you. We are at our website is DragonslayerProWrestling.com. But you can also, find out what we're about. Check out our past matches on YouTube, Dragonslayer Pro Wrestling. Subscriptions are free, and then you can keep up with all the action. We also put a few interviews on there, some backstage stuff. We expect to get that bigger and bigger, so we'll try to provide more and more as we go, as we get more content. Which, by the way, they're a plug. We have Walker Stewart does our commentary, who is the English commentator for New Japan and Stardom. Yes. Does great work. He is usually backstage at our shows, working some of the backstage stuff. And you know what? We talk about the wrestlers all the time, but, we also have a pretty good team that's come together from the beginning. James Southard does most of our producing. And so he works really well because I do the booking, and then I say, here's what you got. So he does an awesome job. And then we've had Dr. The Wife as our ring announcer. Also, Matt Andrews does ring announcing and some backstage work. And Emily Taylor is with us and does a lot of the backstage interviews. You might see Emily sometimes doing some work with Reality of Wrestling as well. Yep. And so yeah, I wanted to give those people a shout out, and check us on Instagram. We're on Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok, although we're just kind of dipping our toe in the water on TikTok. But if you key in Dragonslayer Pro Wrestling, you'll find us on any of those channels.
Awesome stuff. Please give him a follow. Give Dragonslayer a follow. Give them your time. It's worthy of it. If you haven't seen this promotion, it is an awesome promotion. So please support it if you can. Get out January 15th. It's on a Thursday, 7:30, Ridgely Theater, Fort Worth. Come hang out. It's going to be a great night. But Don, thank you so much for your time today. The door is always open. Whenever you want to come by, if there's something you need to promote, the door for No Gimmicks is always open to you, my friend.
I appreciate it, Kelvin. I love what you do and spreading the word. So thank you very much for giving me the time.
No problem at all. Well, thank you guys for tuning in to this week. Come back next time. Until then, you guys know what it is. Be safe. Take care of each other. Enjoy what you're going to enjoy. Peace.
And I know it's all business, all business, all business. We give them no gimmick. Yeah. And I know it's all business, all business, all business. We give them no gimmick. Yeah. And I know it's all business, all business, all business. We give them no gimmicks.